Good morning. We are car vlogging. I am in line to get on the ferry for Bainbridge. Today is Sunday, March 16th. It is, let's see, 7:40 a.m. My original plan, so today I am taking the first intro to spinning class at Mercerie, which is a yarn shop on Bainbridge Island here in Washington. My original plan was to hop on the 6:10 ferry to have like a really fun morning on Bainbridge. There's a coffee shop called Pegasus that I love, and I was gonna like read and knit for a couple hours before the class. But I worked yesterday and had to stay mandatory overtime, so I worked a 16-hour shift. I got home at midnight and woke up at 6 and changed my plans, and that's okay. So we are hopping on the 7:55 ferry. We're still gonna go head to Pegasus and get a coffee and maybe get a little bit of reading in while I wait for the class to start. The coffee shop is just a couple blocks from La Mercerie, so not too far away. But I'm really excited. I brought along a new notebook. This is it's the exact same, I can actually show you, it's the exact same notebook as my knitting journal. It is just brand new, so I'm excited to have all of my spinning things in one place. So I plan to fill the beginning with like notes, and then as I start spinning, do project notes. And by the first half notes, I mean like things that I learned from this class or like videos online and things like that. Just like tips and tricks that I can kind of keep all in one place. So I am really looking forward to that. I brought along a few projects with me. I brought my March socks, and then I brought the mini season sweater that I'm knitting on. So I think that I am going to knit a few rows on my March socks while I wait to get on the ferry. These socks are looking kind of wonky, so I think when I get home today I want to try them on. I knit socks on 9-inch circulars, so in order to try them on I need to put them on a little bit of try-it-on tubing. But this is the Colorwork Clef Club by Summerlee Knits, the March chart, and then I matched it with her Comfort Core foot. So I'm working on the arch support right now. So we'll see how they work up. I'm going to do some rows of this and then get on the ferry. I can see the ferry pulling in right now. Let's see if I can show you. Whoop. There she is. So we are going to have a little morning on Bainbridge. I work the next couple of days, so I think that I'm just kind of going to take the class and come back to home. But I get to rent a wheel, so I will also include some like practice and things like that on this vlog. I'm really excited, and I will check in later. Okay, hello there. I am checking in. It is Tuesday, March 18th. I had intended on having a much different day on Bainbridge than I did. I took the spinning class and it was excellent. I learned, and I'll show you kind of what I learned and what I ended up snagging, as you can kind of see behind me. But I ended up getting some pretty rough personal news and just kind of came home right after and have not done anything since. But let's go through kind of what I'll do. Let's go through what I grabbed, and then we'll go through like the basics of some like things that I learned in the class. I do have my wheel that they are letting me rent. Please excuse the disaster of my room. But there it is. I'll show it more later. But if you watched my last podcast episode, you'll have seen that I had purchased this Yarn Jam fiber. This is 100% natural Shanico, which is US Merino Rambouillet, and this is the color Fall Patina. It's 4 ounces and it's gorgeous. So if you take the spinning class, you get a discount on like fiber and supplies. Unfortunately not on wheels, but on like fiber and books and things like that. So I snagged some fiber while I was there as well. I got this fiber from La Bien-Aimée, and it's confetti hand spinning fiber. It's 50% merino, 30% Shetland, and then 20% recycled LBA threads in the color rust. So here's the label. Sorry for the crinkles. Maybe I'll take it out of the bag. Ooh, it's really pretty. And it is a braid. And then I thought that I would single ply. Let me remind you that I am learning. So I don't know if this is actually going to make sense or if it's actually going to work out, but I think so. So I'm going to do a single ply of this and then a single ply of the yarn jam and ply them together to make a 2-ply, hopefully like DK-ish weight, but like we will see what happens. This is going to be my like goal spin is what I've decided to call it. I don't think that I will be getting into this anytime soon because I don't want to waste good fiber. So I want to practice quite a bit more before I start spinning this. But then I found I had one of these left, Union Fiber. And this is Corriedale Tweed. It's 80% New Zealand Corriedale and 20% rayon nips. It is also 4 ounces, dyed in New Zealand. And these were just like the moodiest colors I've ever seen in my life. And I could not picture myself not getting them. So I think that what I'm gonna do, this is 100 grams. So I think I'm going to break it in half and spin that each half as a single ply and then ply them together to make a 2-ply. Again, this is my first time. I don't know if that makes sense. And maybe make some socks, either DK weight, fingering weight, worsted weight, kind of just depending on what this comes out to be. This might be what I spin first because it's just one braid, but we will see what happens. And then I took the class at La Mercerie and it was taught by Betsy, who used to work at the store and no longer does, but she still comes to teach classes. And where did I put? Oh, it's right here. She recommended this book, so I grabbed it because the discount was also on books. So it's called Yarnitecture, and it includes some patterns in the back, but it talks about like spinning yarn, working with bats, plying mistakes, different types of plies. I know that Andrea Mowry right now is doing some sort of like spin along, make along where they're doing chain plies. And I had no idea what that was. And this book includes some information about that. So I thought that was interesting. And just like really breaks down the art of spinning. So I thought that this was really cool. And I'm excited to dive into this. And then the yarn or the fiber that came with the class for us to like practice on, we got 4 ounces in total, 2 ounces of 2 different colors. So I picked, you're not gonna be very surprised by this. Let me roll it up. I picked black. And if you saw my Instagram stories, you will have seen this already. I picked black and purple because ravens, obviously. And so in the class, I started spinning with the purple color. So I spun about 1 ounce of it. I have about 1 ounce left. And what I had done was I took the fiber and broke it in half, and then I broke each half into quarters, which made it really easy to learn how to draft with because it's very thin, so you don't have to worry about kind of going back and forth between the fibers. This is one of the halves of the purple, and I might try to spin this, and then if it ends up being too thick, I will stop, I'll break it off, and then I will break it into what will be quarters. But this is Corriedale fiber, I believe. So there's that. And let me show you what I spun. Okay, so this is the wheel. It is the Kromsky Fantasia. It's a castle style wheel, so the wheel is perpendicular to you, parallel to you. I can't right now. There's 2 pedals. It came with a couple bobbins. And then this is my first ply. The very beginning of it is pretty thick and thin, and you can see there are parts here that are underspun, but overall I think it looks pretty good for my first spin ever. I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly, so I'm excited to spin a little bit more and see how it goes. Okay, so let's like briefly chat about what I learned, I guess. I don't know if this is going to be interesting for anyone, but I am brand new to this, and I feel like it's something that's like popular in the knitting world right now, and I'm a little late to the game, but I'm really excited to be learning. So what we learned was a short forward draw. So I'm sitting here, my wheel is here, and I am drawing like this, drafting the fiber like this. A lot of like qualities of yarn were kind of broken down that I'm familiar with, like the more twist, the stronger it is, the more plies, the stronger it is, things like that. But what's really interesting is we learned a lot about different fiber types. Things like Corriedale and Rambouillet are great for beginners, whereas like a merino has a really short, what's it called? Staple length. So it can break a lot more easily. I just thought it was really fun. She taught us like all of the different parts of the spinning wheel. I am really sad that I only get to keep this for 2 weeks because I have a lot going on in the next couple of weeks, and I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to be able to practice spinning, but it's very addicting and it's very meditative, and I think I'm going to love it. I would love one day to invest in my own wheel, but I think that that is going to be a long time away. So for now, I'm going to spin up what I can in the next couple of weeks. I'll definitely get, our like homework is to do 2 single plies. So I'll do a single ply of the purple and a single ply of all the black fiber. And then in the next class, we learn how to ply. And then it sounds like we learn just like some more information on like different types of fiber and things like that. So I'm excited about it. So I was gonna bring my wheel upstairs, but the sun is shining and I kind of want to stay down here. So I'm gonna see how it goes spinning down here, and if I need a flatter surface on the floor, then I'll go upstairs. But let's spin a little bit. I just recorded a video of me preparing a braid to spin, and my camera was like on slow mode without me knowing, which means that the podcast I recorded earlier was also on slow mode, so that's a bummer. But yeah, I took that Yarn Jam braid. I don't remember if I shared it or not. Dang it. Okay, today's March 25th. I was out of time for the weekend, so I'll reshare all of this. I was out of time for the weekend, but I got back and I finished my second single. That was like the homework or whatever for the Intro to Spin class. And then these are both of them. So the purple was first, you can tell it's kind of thick and thin, and then black is second, and it's a lot more consistent. So I took the braid that I had from Yarn Jam and I split it in half. This is the second half. And then I split that in half. And this is a quarter. And then I split that in half, and now I have 2/8. These are each about 15 grams of yarn. Kind of a bummer that that did not record correctly, but it's okay. A reminder that we're beginners, and so it's okay if this doesn't turn out perfect. For a while I was like, I don't want to spin with my like nice fiber because I don't want to like ruin it. But if I don't spin with this, then what's the point? Like, what am I going to do with it? And what am I going to practice with? So I only have the wheel until Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So I am going to spin this fiber and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I am just getting myself set up here. I'm going to attach this guy here. And then this is different than what I learned with, but it's just a lead, so I think it works the same way. Okay, so put this guy back on. Thread these guys through here, and then thread it through here. Okay. I like to have these in balls, but I do find that it's hard to, like, it doesn't flow through my hand as naturally when I'm drafting, so I'm gonna unwind a bit. Push this guy probably all the way to the back. Get my little feetsies on. Oh shoot. I need to remember that I'm... This lead is gonna give me trouble. What I'm used to is like a loop, but I think that this is probably like okay, got it. I have to remind myself that it's okay to stop and restart instead of like trying to like power through an awkward spot in the fiber. Okay, it is Friday, March 28th, like a day and a half before I have to give this wheel back. But I spun up the first half of the Yarn Jam braid. Here's how it looks. And I think I want to make it a 2-ply with this braid from La Bien-Aimée, because I think they would pair. This is the second half, so I think they would pair really nicely together. So I was trying to decide between, I don't think that I can spin 6 more ounces of fiber between now and Sunday. I was debating between finishing the Yarn Jam spin, like single, and doing half of this so that I can ply it together on Sunday when I learn how to ply, and I think that I'm gonna do that. So I only have 3 bobbins and they are all full, so I think that I'm gonna take this bobbin and just wind it onto this toilet paper roll so that I can then ply these 2 together on Sunday as well, but then it frees up a bobbin. So If I knew how to ply, I would just do that, but I don't. So we are just going to, I don't really know the best way to do this. But here we go. Okay, that was an absolute disaster, and I do not recommend doing that. I basically just took the bobbin and rolled the spin onto a toilet paper roll, which was what the instructor had recommended, but it ended up being too much fiber, so it just kept popping off, and then I was like, okay, I'll make it into a cake. So that's what I did, and then put the toilet paper roll inside of it so that I can still put it on the Lazy Kate to ply it, but that was a disaster. It's over now, and I just hope that that doesn't fall apart. But let's look at the next ply. So I am going to break this in half. I believe this is also 4 ounces. Yeah, 110 grams, which from what I've seen in other fibers is 4 grams. I'm sorry, 4 ounces. So taking braids apart is not something that I excel in. You should just be able to pull it, but I haven't, maybe I'm on the wrong end. Oh, look. You just have to get it started. Okay, so I am going to open this braid up, and I'm going to split it in half, and I'm going to spin just the first half of this. And then we'll see. If I end up with extra time tomorrow, I'll spin the other halves, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so roughly in half. We're going to wind half as we go. Just roll it into a little ball. I am not a professional by any means. This is literally my first time. Well, this is my second time breaking up a braid actually, but I don't know if I'm doing this in the most I don't know, efficient way, I guess. Let's weigh this. Let's see how much it is. You see, I've been practicing my breaking up of the fiber, so let's see if I'm close to even here. 54.2, and it's 110 grams, so that's basically half. So we're getting better, but also this is way bigger. Let's see how big this is. Oh no, it's 53. It's just fluffier maybe. Okay. The Yarn Jam braid that I spun half of, so 2 ounces, was Shanico, I believe. Yeah, Shanico, and this by La Bien Aimée is Merino and Shetland, and then recycled LBA threads. I don't really know what that means, but it has little flecks of other colors in it. So, okay, so from here, I'm going to split this in half again. So I will have made roughly quarters. And probably will make some gigantic knots. This is no longer a quarter. It's getting thinner and thinner as I pull. So it is what it is. We're learning. This is only my second braid, and breaking it up doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And honestly, I think I like doing it into smaller pieces anyways. It's just easier for me to draft. This is really thin again. Yeah, this is probably too thin actually. I might need to put these two together. What I have in this final one is probably exactly the thickness that I want to draft from. Again, we're learning. I'm just going to measure these to see what happens, and then I can kind of see what I like drafting from most. So let's just see. I'm expecting that this is probably like half, so this is probably like 25. It's 30. So these are tiny. 12 and 13. So I could split this in half again, I guess. We're gonna hold on that. Okay. So I have half of my fiber here. I have half of my fiber up here. So I am going to take my yarn jam spin off the wheel. I am leaving this unspun just in case I end up attaching the rest of it, and I feel like that's the best way to go about that. Okay, so here, let me show you what I'm doing. So I have this all here. You can see that end that I didn't weave. Here is, I don't remember what that part's called. It's fine. Okay, unattach it. So here is my bobbin of the yarn jam spin. Pretty good. I got a little curly over here, but I think that when I ply it, it'll be okay. So now I'm going to reattach this bobbin this way. And then this guy. Okay. And then we have to go through, we're remembering here, I don't need that for this. Go through, this is like really curly. I'm gonna pre-draft a little bit, so I'm gonna pull. Oh, this is really soft. Okay. I'm like nervous. So remember, you put your fingers in it, you tighten it up. Ooh, that's really tight. That's probably too tight. Backwards, okay. And then you attach like that. Right. Wait, hang on. We're too thick right now. Oh, we're just gonna be a little thick and thin right there. See, this happened. I let this go. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there we go. Okay, wait, I can already tell I need more tension. Okay, let's try that. See, and then when these neps come through, it's like really thick. Is that normal? Because if not, then it's... This is not going great. Okay, it's the beginning. It's okay. This is better. I don't like the nips. It makes it really awkward for me. And I think that's just because I'm still learning. Trust the process. We're learning, we're learning. Like, that's so thick. that nip. Is that what they're called? Nips? Like, look at that. That seems crazy. There has to be a better way. Maybe this is just like not the best fiber to be spinning with as my like third spin ever. I guess fourth, but the first two fibers were exactly the same. Also, I'm probably being too hard on myself. This doesn't look awful. Let's show a little bit over here. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling better. I'm getting better. The neps are making lots of like thick and thin points, but also like I'm still really new at this, so I'm probably also creating thick and thin points. So I'm gonna keep spinning this and we'll see how far I get. Okay, update. I spun for like an hour. I can't remember what time I started, but it's 6:20. I definitely underestimated the difficulty of spinning with these like neps, but eventually I just kind of like stopped the wheel and broke up the bigger neps, and then it ended up being a little bit more consistent. But here is how it's looking. And then this is the other one, so they'll hopefully get plied together. I am confident that I can finish this. This is what I have left from the first half of this braid, so I can definitely get that spun up tomorrow, and then we'll just see what happens after that. But I'll at least be able to ply the first halves of these braids, which will be nice. That will be on Sunday. That's it for tonight. I am off to a concert and doors are already open, so I should probably go. Anyways, I will check in probably tomorrow when I finish this spin, and then it'll all get plied on Sunday, so I'll check in after that too. But I will see you tomorrow. Today is March 29th. It is 2:54 p.m. It is less than a day until I have to give this gorgeous wheel back, so I'm here to finish spinning the first half of the La Bien-Aimée braid so that I can ply it with my Yarn Jam single tomorrow, hopefully. I'm gonna miss this wheel so much. I'm so sad about it, but I am thankful that I got to learn on it, and I'm hopeful that one day I can have one for myself. But let's get spinning. I spun for like an hour and a half and then accidentally took a nap, so. Here are my two singles. So this is the Yarn Jam and this is the La Bien-Aimée. And I'm so excited to ply them tomorrow. They're looking pretty good for my first singles. Pretty consistent. The neps in this were pretty tricky at first, like I've said before, but eventually it just kind of taught me how to like manipulate the fiber a little bit more. So I was like kind of twisting it to grab onto different pieces. So I think it taught me a lot, but cannot wait to see how this turns out tomorrow. I will check in tomorrow. All right, today is Monday, March 31st. I am checking in while my lunch is cooking so that I can share stuff from yesterday's class. So yesterday we learned how to ply. So we took the singles that we had spun. I had spun the black and purple and I plied it. And this is what it looks like. So we spun the singles clockwise. So we spun the plies, or the two singles together to form the two ply, counterclockwise. I'm not really sure if this is like worsted or woolen spun. Like that still doesn't really mean anything to me, but I'm pretty pumped with how this is. It's obviously thick and thin in areas. It is definitely over plied. So I'm hoping that when I wash it, you wash it similar to blocking like a finished garment. I'm just gonna like soak it with some wool wash, and then I'm gonna hang it to dry, or like snap and thwack and then hang it to dry, and I'm gonna kind of weigh it down, hoping to get some of the extra spins out. And then if it's still over plied, I can always run it through a wheel again and take out a little bit of the spin. So this is the first one. I'm pretty pumped. I am not really sure what I want to do with it. I am kind of tossing around the idea of just like hanging it as a display so that because it's my first hand spun, but I also understand the benefit of knitting with your hand spun so that you can figure out like what you're liking. So we'll see kind of what happens here. And then I took the singles that I had spun from the first half of these two braids. And I have actually a little bit of leftover from the Yarn Jam braid that I'll throw up there. And it made this hank of yarn. I'm super, super, super excited about it. This one is not overplied. I learned that I like to pedal my feet pretty rapidly, so I did not move to the faster whirl, I think it's called, on the Kromsky Fantasia machine or wheel. There's like the big wheel and then there's a little one, and I think they're called whirls, and if you use the smaller whirl it just like spins faster. So I ended up not doing that because that's why this one's overspun, because I like to pedal fast, or my cadence is fast. But this is the product of the first half of those braids. And I'm so, so, so excited about it. This is not washed quite yet, so it will probably even out a little bit more, but I'm so proud. These are my babies. I'm not really sure what I want to do with them yet. I do want to spin these and then ply them together so that I can kind of get an idea of how much yarn I have, but ideally I would love to do like a traveler shawl. If I don't have enough yardage for that, then maybe just like a Sophie shawl, but I'm so, so, so proud of how these came out. And I bought a wheel. Hi Zoe. I was not necessarily anticipating coming home with a wheel. However, I like have absolutely fallen in love with spinning, and I like couldn't picture my life without a wheel. Here's Zobug. Say hi, Zobug. Hi. And she had finally gotten to the point where she wasn't like afraid of the wheel. Anyways, when we were there, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without this wheel. Like, I've grown to love it. Like, it's so meditative in a way that knitting, it's different than knitting, right? So I was chatting with the girls at Mercerie, and she was like, well, let's just like see what colors we have in stock. And I was like, yes, please, I would love to know, because I want a black wheel, which is a surprise to absolutely nobody. But she looked and she's like, we have the dark walnut and we have the black. And I was like, twist my arm. So I had her grab it from their storage area, and she brought it, and it's mine now. It's sitting here in a box. I haven't built it yet. I am trying to be a little bit responsible since this was kind of impulsive, and I'm trying to finish my schoolwork before I build it, but I might just build it tonight. Let me pull the wheel out. Hang on. Are you ready? It's black. It's so pretty. So this is like finished wood. It still has a lot of like natural components. It's also like, it needs to be dusted off, but so the wheel is black. I believe the petals are black, and then the, oh, what is it called? Spindles? Spindles are black. So, or bobbins, that's what it's called. It's called bobbin. The bobbins are black. So I'm so excited and I can't wait to put this together, but I can wait because I'm trying to be responsible, but I might build it tonight. We'll see what happens. But yes, I bought a wheel. And then I also bought a couple more things. So I bought a couple of additional bobbins. The wheel comes with 3, which is perfect for 2 singles and then a ply. But I'm like, what if I want to do a 3-ply? Then I need 4 bobbins. And then I was like, well, what if I just want to, whatever. I bought 2 extras. So I have plenty to play around with. And then I ended up getting a little bit more fiber to play with. I got this fiber from Skagit Woolen Roving. This is just the natural color. This is the Island Cross, which is BFL Crosses, and this is the medium blend. I have heard that this is like pretty easy to draft, so I'm excited for that. And then I also got a braid from Moondrake. This is Corydale, and it's beautiful. Again, this is by Moondrake. So I think that with each of these, like I don't think I'm going to spin them as singles and ply them together. If I can't make a traveler out of these plus the second half of the braid, I might try and do it with these 2 held together, thinking that I will be able to draft them thinner or spin them thinner as singles. That's the goal, right? Because this is still pretty, like I thought I was spinning it pretty thin, but it's still a pretty thick yarn. Actually, I got this little tool so I can kind of see. I'm gonna take this out of the, it's yarn, I made yarn. So I can kind of see what weight of yarn it is. That part's like DK, but this part's a little thinner or thicker. Anyways, so I feel like I can definitely still spin my singles a little bit thinner, and I know that that will come with practice. So hopefully spinning the second half of these braids will help me get a little bit thinner, and then I can be thinner with this. I am going to wash these and share that process in this vlog, and then I think that this is going to be over. So you won't see in this vlog what I end up making with them, but I do have a regular podcast, so if you want to see what I end up making with all of these, feel free to subscribe. But really excited to spin. I go in a summer knitting rut, so I think this is gonna be what I do in the summer, and I'm just so excited to keep making it and to knit with it. And yeah, we're gonna build the wheel at some point. We're gonna wash these, and I'll share those couple things with you, and then we're off to the races with spinning. So I made these. That's so crazy. I made this yarn. That is nuts. 10 out of 10 recommend learning how to spin. Okay, that's all. Okay, here we go. I finished a pair of socks. So my reward is I'm gonna build my wheel. So I just got all of the parts laid out and kind of wiped down. There is a book instruction, which I'm hoping is enough. If not, I'll find a video, but let's see if we can build this thing. It's 5:10 p.m. so we will see how much I can get done in the next like hour or so. So here we go. all over my face. Okay. So we're just gonna let these dry and then we're gonna knit with them. Okay, I realized that I did not check in after I finished building my wheel, but she's done. Here, I'll show you. She's black. She's beautiful. And I'm gonna start my first spin on my wheel. So I thought I would bring you along. This will probably be the end of this vlog. I washed my first hand spun this morning, which you will have seen, and I want to spin the second half of these braids so that I can ply them and make something out of them. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm trying to intentionally make these thinner, even though that means it won't match my other pink. I just want to get better at spinning thin so that I can maybe do a 3-ply in the future, which I'm pretty sure is the dream. Okay, so after a rather frustrating start where it was a user error, I had not applied attention to my bobbin, I was able to spin. I spun for like 30 minutes and I was able to spin up about half of this braid. It's looking a lot more consistent now than my last spin was, so I'm pretty excited about it. Oops. And yeah, I'm gonna probably spin for a little bit longer and then pick this back up probably tomorrow, but this is where I am going to end the vlog. So thank you so much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed my journey to learning how to spin. I am absolutely a beginner, so if you have any tips or tricks, I would love to hear them from you. If you are interested in learning how to spin and need the push to do it, let me know and I'll give it to you, because it's very different than knitting. I love knitting and I will never stop knitting, but this is very like meditative and like quiets down the brain. So it's like different purposes, I guess. So this is definitely not something that I can like sit down and watch TV while I do. I'm sure there are people that can do that. I just am definitely not at that place yet, but I'm pretty excited to continue spinning. You can expect to see updates on spinning in my regular podcast episodes, and then when I do more braids and I feel confident enough to start like a sweater quantity spin, that's probably something that I'll vlog again. But if you are interested in keeping up in my spinning journey, then subscribe to this channel and I will be giving you updates. I also post pretty regularly on my Instagram stories, so if you're wanting to see a more like day-to-day thing, I'm also the emo knitter there. So thanks again for joining me. I hope that this was fun for you too. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I will see you in my next podcast episode. Happy knitting!